What is up, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today's the 13th episode of the United Mexican States. In the previous episode, what we did is that we formed the Alliance of the Central Territories Alliance, which now has Costa Rica and Trinidad and Tobago in the alliance. So we now have two official allies that we have a sphere of influence over. So now we're just going to be waiting. Mainly, I really want to get Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and El Salvador in here. Panama is kind of like a secondary kind of thing, but I really want to get at least Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Honduras in the alliance. So our inflation right now is at 4.91%. So we're going to try to keep our growth rate around under 5%. If we can keep it under 5%, that will really tremendously help us out. I think what else we could do is right here, tax on cannabis consumption. 120 for 101 billion pesos. We will also add this to a reform. So our crime rates are kind of stationary around 25, just above 25, and they actually are inching upward. So what we want to do is that we are going to study real quick. We have 14.8 to 14.9. We're going to try to raise a couple more funds through some taxes. And then what we can do is that we can increase this number. Actually, we don't even have 1.2 million manpower here. So we're actually going to wait to increase our manpower in the police sector. We can maybe actually pay them a little bit more. We're going to go to legislation, and we're going to consider, I both thought it was right here, but actually we can go up to 300,000 cameras. That's actually what we're going to aim for. Where was this option? I think it was justice. Yeah, justice. So in the 2023 edition, we have a couple of new options whenever it comes to justice, to punishment, and reducing crime. What we can do is go to regulate the use of facial recognition, and we have this set to sensitive and high traffic areas such as neighborhoods, tourist spots, and stadiums. Over the years, facial recognition has become more and more effective, used in security, especially in the battle against terrorism and criminal activity. This technology is still controversial and can be considered an intrusion on privacy. The absence of consent from identified citizens and the use of their biometric data in potential analysis errors all remain unresolved issues to this day. So we're going to go to no restriction, and hopefully it doesn't bug out and accept it. We are going to try to get Parliament to support this. So what we can do is that we are going to try to attach this to an increase of the severity of punishments, and that will not pass. What about here? No, that will not pass either. So criminal responsibility, could we lower criminal responsibility to that? No. Could we ban the sale and possession of firearms, which actually will do something to reduce crime? Because actually, if you banned guns, that actually will stop crime, essentially. Not stop it, but it will reduce it. Legalization of the death penalty. That will not pass. What can we do? Prohibition on the punishment of children. So we can actually prohibit corporal punishment and then attach that to regulation of the use of facial recognition. And then so we can try to do that. And then if the facial recognition doesn't work, then I think we're going to go over to arms sales, and we will do a flat out ban on the sale and possession of firearms. But at the same time, we are going to do a amnesty of those that are sentenced to less than 3 months. So we'll go ahead and get that done. And so our prison occupancy rate will go ahead and go down. So good job. Opening of the Winter Olympics in Milan. Cybersecurity awareness, and the tax reform should have passed. So Haiti Immigration Agreement has been accepted. Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2026 has also passed. So we're going to go over here, and Marina is pretty against it. So we're going to have to go over to and try to say, hey, you need to support this bill. So we will go ahead and do a meeting, and wow, lots of protests, lots of reaction against it. Offer coffee, champagne, tell her she's charming. And
I'm sorry.
she will not support it, but we already do have the support, but we need to check real quick. Yes, so we lost nearly 12 points worth of support here. So we need to immediately try to gain that support back. So what we need to do is that we need to go to farming. We need to go here, and we need to do a $12 billion subsidy, 12 billion peso subsidy here. That will help us out, lowers our deficit or lowers our surplus a little bit, but it will gain us the approval back that we so desperately need. So go over here to energy, and 35% is coming from fossil, 17% is coming from wind, 24% is coming from fusion nuclear power. So if we go over here to environment, where is it at? 30% of our electricity is being derived from renewable energy, which does include the fusion nuclear power. Regulate vehicle traffic. We could change that to city centers. Tax credits for clean energies is already set. And animal welfare, recognition of animal rights, balanced. We're going to do a full reform on this soon. We just don't want to yet. And amnesty seems to have passed. So let's go over to justice. 89%. So we're still waiting for amnesty to go through. All right. And we are back. So we are now on the day that the criminal reform has passed. So we should be able to get a message to... and while during the intermediary stage of that, I actually did employ the construction of 2 mega solar power plants. Another protest right now by a lot of these groups. We have lost 20% in approval right there. That is a sacrifice for trying to reduce crime. So we will get rid of it later on, but we need to use it now to try and reduce crime. We need to get it to a very reasonable level because it's ruining our country. It's preventing us from becoming the prosperous nation that we have. We are also experiencing an increase in crime right now. And let's look. So this is intentional homicides per 100,000, which is 26.1. And we are number 11 right now. This is intentional homicides per 100,000 by year. We're number 11 at 26.1, and the number 1 right now, again, out of 100,000, Venezuela is killing 154 people per 100,000 people. So that is crazy. By the way, big news out of Venezuela. Apparently, they want to invade half of Guyana because they claim that this entire area right here on this side of the river, this little river right here, on this side of the river, they claim all of this is Venezuelan. And they're holding a referendum Sunday at the recording of this video. By the time you guys see this, it'll be a Friday. This coming Sunday, they're having a referendum in which they are asking their citizens whether they should annex it. And it's crazy because they can't even have toilet paper right now. And Venezuela wants to go around annexing other territories. Come on. Come on, that's stupid. What else can we do? So education right now, we are at literacy rates is still on its way down, but we need to start hitting it more aggressively. We're going to do 100 billion peso investment into education. We're going to do student accommodation. God, why is this so expensive? AIDS. All right, we're going to do a $300 billion. We're gonna 250 is how much we're gonna do. Backup classes, literacy aids, 259. Yep. Go ahead and do it right there. Go to the next day. Should be a approval jump. Yep. Good. We still have a surplus. So, raising the age of sexual consent in Mexico.
I am here to follow up on the change in the law that raises the minimum age of consent in your country. Your nation has demonstrated great laxity. For us, this is a crime against children. You are encouraging
Yeah, I'm not going to say that, but we have a long way to go, and we need to start incrementally increasing that age until it's satisfactory. So it's always kind of weird that option is still in the game. It's kind of interesting because it kind of like adds some more complexity and kind of like challenges to your country. But just in the United States, that topic is so controversial to talk about that it's somewhat uncomfortable to just kind of talk about that, just be like, oh yeah, what's an acceptable age, because it makes me sound really weird and I just don't like that. But Criminal Prevention Act, let's go ahead and let's see what the immediate effect on crime is. So prison population is on its way down, 2603. Yep, it actually is on its way down right now as we move into April. Let's go for an additional 206. Really? Yeah, let's go ahead and just max out right now. Actually, we'll do an additional 50. And we have 808 billion pesos that we can use. Actually, we have 724. So we are going to reduce our interest rates at Mexico. We're going to pay ourselves off. So we're going to reduce our interest payments to ourselves because we are paying the most interest to us. And so we can do that. And we can also kind of try to pay off Russia because Russia is charging us so much. We're going to get a new payment very soon. So once we get that new payment, I'm going to pay the Russians to lower our interest rates with them. Because if we can pay them off a little bit, it'll help us out economically. We have some protests right now. Let's see who they are. They are the gurus, the Order of the New Humanists, the sects. Protesting against just some weird stuff. I don't know. They're always really weird. Next Caillou Summit in Puebla on 4/11/26. Let's go ahead and accept that. So we'll go ahead and move on to that Caillou Summit. But we still got a couple of more things to go as we move forward. Our crime rates are pretty much on our way down, and we have some new prisons coming in. So good. Criticism of the state, Article 19 of the U.S. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, is that everyone has a right to freedom of opinion and expression. We're going to go ahead and move this to freedom of expression. I don't know why we're still on respectful of institutions. So we're going to go ahead and move that to freedom of expression and allow people to criticize Mexico as freely as they want without fear of government retribution. Always. So approach the political party, the Democratic Party. We're going to go ahead and meet with Democratic representatives and start giving them some money. And a new government in the United Kingdom has come into power. Who is this? This is Keith Starter. If you guys can, this is the Labor guy. So if you guys can actually tell me who that is. Lots and lots of interesting stuff happening in the United Kingdom. Let's go ahead and meet with this new UK Prime Minister. We'll meet with him on the 22nd. And we have really good relations with Guatemala right now. Fun fact, I actually got I actually work somewhere, and there was a customer that came in, and he handed me 3 banknotes. One of them was from Nicaragua, but 2 of them were from Guatemala. So it's very interesting how I was able to get that. So I'm really excited that I was able to do it because I actually do collect foreign currencies. So I do have I have like one old I think it's Nicaragua. Yeah, it's Nicaragua. One old Nicaraguan banknote. And so I really enjoy collecting coins and everything like that. But I was really excited whenever I got those banknotes. Favorable regime change, CO2 emissions are decreasing, and we can get a ministerial target in the United States. Let's go ahead and start placing assets in the United States, trying to see what we can do to kind of get our feet on the ground and study who's around us, especially them, to know what they're doing. Sinaloa cartel agent is infiltrated. Let's go ahead and try to dismantle Sinaloa's. And energy, should we finance another fusion power plant? 153 terawatts. Once we get close to 120, we're going to finance another plant. I think I want to wait until we get a new debt repayment. mainly because we can use the money on that to finance the plant rather than taking out a loan ourselves. So that'll really help us out. Meeting with the United Kingdom Prime Minister, offer him a coffee, champagne, love your country, propose a military alliance with our relations with him right now. Can we offer such a thing? No. So let's offer sales contract. Let's go ahead and offer aeronautical construction. They already produce enough. So aluminum, no, we really need to start upping our aluminum production. Cars, we can sell them some cars actually. So let's go ahead and try to see if we can sell them some prime Mexican automobiles. 541, let's go for 622,000 per unit. And 563. And we're going to do this for a 3-year contract. So we got that. And immigration agreements. What do we want to do? Immigration. Do we want to send our people over there to work in our economy? We're going to go ahead and say no for right now. But I also want to check my economy to see, or my immigration system to see who's coming here through work visa programs. So this is 0.8 and 0.4. So it's doubled recently. So our arrivals are starting to slow down. I think because we're starting to deport more of them. We do have a slightly positive immigration rate. However, it is net immigration or net migration is still negative. We are negative 1 out of 1,000 in terms of net immigration or net migration. So we have annual flow of incoming migration is 57,000, which is up from 50,000. However, the outgoing migration is 275,000. So unfortunately, we are losing way more people than we are receiving. But then at the same time, our immigrants are kind of still going up, but our illegal immigrants are still skyrocketing right now. So what we can do is we can go over here. We can possibly consider regularizing them, but I'm going to wait until we get to a satisfactory number. I'm going to say we did 500,000 last time. If it increases fast enough, I want to do 1 million people. If we can regularize 1 million people, that will really help out our economy. Meeting with the Democratic Secretary General, let's go ahead and hand over 3 million pesos. Try to help them out and ensure that we have a friendly government in power in the United States to after 2028. Meeting with the Guatemalan president, champagne, or champagne. I can't talk right now. Propose a military alliance. We're going to do a non-aggression pact with them. Actually, we're going to sign a support agreement with them, and we're going to ask that they give us all land rights. They will not accept that. We're going to just offer a support agreement. We're going to leave it there for right now. We're going to negotiate immigratory agreements. We're going to do receive and detain specifically immigrants in transit in Guatemalan territory while waiting for a response to asylum. Or we can do specific reinforcement of the border, or we can do facilitation of the return. We're going to do a receive and detain and try to receive those that are coming in and try to, make them into Mexican citizens. That's really what I want to do. I want to try to get our migration rate more positive. And that is really one of the biggest goals that I have. Once we get positive net migration at a positive, really interestingly good level, I'm going to be really happy. And unfortunately, they refused that. So we have certain issues in labor sectors. We cannot encourage the immigration of our workers. And we do not consider ourselves a country of transit and of illegal immigration. So let's go over to here. Let's make sure they didn't cancel the agreement. So Honduras, Guatemala. So Guatemala still has the agreement with us. So that's what it said whenever it said like the labor shortage. Usually that's what they say whenever they can't send you workers. So that's unfortunate, but maybe we'll get something later. Partial dismantlements, unfortunately. 133 million inhabitants in Mexico, an increase of nearly 0.25%, and 2 human beings in 100 belong to our nation. So 2% of the world population lives in Mexico.
The theory.
Go ahead and do another funding measure for the El Salvadorian party. And we're going to go to April 1st and see what our debt payoff will be. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 1.1 trillion pesos has been given to us in a cash surplus. And let's see where our debt is right now. Public debt is 49%. So let's go over here. Let's go over to Russia. And let's go ahead and pay them off. We'll see what that does. That really kind of helps out our excess, but we only owe the Russians. We completely paid them off. We have 10 billion pesos in our treasury reserve. Let's go ahead and use that on. Let's go ahead and use that here. Housing. Yeah, let's do housing. We're going to do another round of rehabilitating our housing. We really need to start pressing on that because we have 19% substandard housing rate, and that's really, really bad. So I really want to get that done. 100 missiles, 200 missiles have been delivered to Mexico. Good, 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 good. Very, very excited to see that. And all we have to do now is go to the 11th, where the Caillou Summit will be waiting for us. All right, and we are now at the next Caillou Summit. So good, good, good. Welcome, one and all. We are meeting today to determine the interest rate, the value for our organization's banks. Madam President, we would like to have your opinion. What is the value? We're going to go ahead and double it to 0.15%. So please, please tell me that that's what they increase it to. I really, really, really hope that they did. Let's go ahead and go to the next day. And Caillou Summit, new interest rate is 0.13%. So unfortunately, they did not increase it to what I wanted it to be. But maybe we'll get it there. Maybe we'll get it there. But it's actually kind of good because we do have inflation mostly under control. We have growth at about 4.3%, so we just need to increase the taxes a little bit more to kind of get a little bit of a control over it. But, so it's kind of like we're not too worried about inflation. Inflation isn't that big of a problem, but I'm still uncomfortable with having a 4.61% inflation rate. I want to get that down to 3%. If we can get that down to 3%, I will be very happy, at least even by the election. That's at least what I want to do. And also held a poll for you guys, and you guys did say that once my term is up, I will be doing I will be running for election again. Now, that's what the question is for this episode. When I run for election, should I go with the default character that is a part of the Morena party, which is going to be her, Natalia Oaxta. Natalia. We're going to go with Natalia. Should I use her and still not change the Constitution of Mexico, as Mexico is limited to a one-term president? Or should I change the Constitution, go over here? Should I change the Constitution, go over here to change term limits, and then just renew it at 1? So limiting the number of successive terms can help prevent political inaction and make the leading team be active during its term. On the other hand, it means that voters are not free to elect their favorite personality for the long term. So should I use the default character in this next election? Or should I continue with Claudia Sheinbaum and get her to run for another term in the next election? So go ahead and tell me your thoughts on that down below. We still have 1,500 days before the next election, which that is in 2030. We actually do have legislative elections next year, so I'm really excited to see how good we can perform in that. But in 2030, we have the option to run for another 5 years, and then that'll have us in this gameplay until 2035. And after this gameplay is done, maybe I can actually try to do it during this gameplay, I have to do Saudi Arabia. So I'm really interested to see how Saudi Arabia will turn out. But anyway, guys, go ahead and tell me you guys' thoughts down below. Should I change the Constitution to allow Claudia Sheinbaum to run for another term? Or should I just have her step aside and use another character? Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything whenever I do make it on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.